All right. Welcome to my fight week journal. I am going to journal some thoughts and analysis and observations and stories every day from fight week here. It's Mayweather versus McGregor. Madness. It is starting to feel like madness. And yeah, so let's journal every single day what we've learned, what we've seen, if we've observed anything interesting. This is Los Angeles, California at 6 a.m. I don't know if it's 6 a.m., but it feels like about 6 a.m. Good morning, guys. So as you can see, there is the mist coming up here over the city. I call it mist. Some people like to call it smog. What up, guys? So yeah, I'm here in this hotel. This is my balcony. This is my favorite hotel. And I've never been able to take my wife here, so I'm hoping that we can get a break and come here at some point. But LA is so often work. It would have to be kind of just the right time where I was working for 2 days and we could stay for like 4 or 5. Hey guys, thanks for your greetings. So every day, I try to keep it to 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to have one or more journals about what we're... Yeah, coffee time. I haven't even got my coffee yet. I wanted to talk to you guys first. Where will we be watching the fight? Someone just asked me. I can't answer all your questions because that's all we'll do, and it would be fun, but I can't. I got to pass on some thoughts. But I will be watching the fights in the venue. Hey, Ireland in the house. What up? Your man is going to win, I think. He might. Never know, though. Never know. So yes, I'm in Los Angeles. Why am I here? I'm here before fight week starts because we are doing a documentary on George St. Pierre for TSN. Make sure you follow TSN YouTube because I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff there this week, I believe, and tsn.ca. So I'll be doing coverage all week long from tsn.ca. Of course, I'll do stuff here as well. I'm here for George St. Pierre documentary. George is expected to fight Michael Bisping the first week of November. I've been following him for weeks and weeks and weeks, and today I will follow him to some pretty interesting strength and conditioning stuff, which I believe might even look like some of that American Ninja Warrior stuff, so it'll be part of the doc. We'll have lunch. We're going to have breakfast first. Buffet here. This is the Intercontinental Hotel. The buffet here is spectacular. I love it. So we'll have breakfast, then we'll go work out, and then we'll have lunch, and then we're going to train with Freddie Roach. So I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Freddie for my YouTube channel. I'm here employed, gainfully employed by TSN, and I try to never overstep those bands. They are my #1 priority when I'm here working. But at 6 a.m. I can hang out with you guys. So every day I'm going to do a fight journal, or a journal of the week. So today is about George, but of course, Mayweather and McGregor is what everybody's talking about and what we're talking about. People asking when the UFC piece is coming out. I did a big breakdown piece on Dana's request. I flew into Vegas on Friday morning and I flew out Friday night and I shot a 4 to 5 minute breakdown of McGregor versus Mayweather. I took my 8 hours of analysis that you can see on YouTube here. If you go to the playlist, the McGregor Mayweather playlist, there's probably 8 hours plus, and we built a little breakdown. Someone just here 4 fucking days, ladies and gentlemen. I know, I can't even believe this. Remember 6 months ago we were saying this fight will never happen? It's absurd. People still saying it's absurd. And one of the conversations that keeps popping up is people say, why can't you just see this fight for what it is? It's like, I am seeing it for what it is. I'm exactly seeing it for what it is. And they're not talking directly at me. They're talking at anybody who just won't roll over and say, this guy's an amateur. This guy's the greatest fighter in the world. That is not the truth. Combat is combat is combat. And my friend David Mullins, I do mentality of combat sports with him. Mullins was saying this is fixed mindset versus growth mindset. I know that he's making a very strong, very concise point, but of course it's a blend. But the way we're looking at it is that over time, boxing itself, as all complex systems do, by the way. This is an analysis that you can carry over to anything in the world. Your business, complex systems become more and more specialized. That's what they do. That's the nature of it. I'm reading this phenomenal book called, look how cool that city is. I'm reading this phenomenal book called Simplexity. and it analyzes the relationship between simple and complex systems. It's very, very cool. And it's believed by some that complex systems inevitably become so hyper-specialized. Now, that's the thesis of this, is not boxing sucks, or Floyd isn't really the greatest, or Connor's a genius. It's that these complex systems specialize to such a point that they get very, very, very good at a small selection of things, And these days, going the opposite is very powerful. So I'm going to use Fight Network as an example. No disrespect. I could use Fox. I could use anywhere else, but it was a place that I worked very closely. Over time, they became very, very, very good at television. But then when television decentralizes, what the overarching picture is you want to be, and them or anybody else who runs a channel of any kind, you want to be very, very good at whatever the real thing is. And the real thing is you're in the business of gathering attention and then selling it to advertisers. It's not TV, it's anything, right? And so boxing is the same thing. It gets very, very, very good at this small collection of ideas that you have to do it this way, and that's how it is. But then the world changes and the ideas they broaden out into bigger ideas. It's not fucking boxing. It's just combat. You do not have to do it the way you guys have decided to do it, and the world around you has changed. And the world around you changes. Your principles and beliefs have to take into account the world that you live in. You know what I mean? I'm seeing this everywhere. So ever since I became a freelancer, my job has been to look at the world quite differently, because I was no longer employed by a place that had a specific goal for me. This is your job. This is the boss. This is how it works. This is what we do. This is, that's the nature of any employment. And I worked at a great place. Trust me. I'm watching this very similar things happen with this kind of decentralization that's happening everywhere. And boxing is doing the same thing. If Conor McGregor wins, it's exactly the same thing. It's a disruption, a decentralized based disruption. And I highly recommend this book, Simplexity. I find it incredibly fascinating. And it gives you it doesn't tell you what Connor's doing. It's not a direct line to it, but it tells you what happens with complex systems as they grow and change. And it's really, really neat. You can carry it over to a TV network, boxing. You can carry it over to, anything. You can carry it over to this city. The city is a complex system. It will behave in particular ways. Everything within it, all the systems within it will behave in particular ways. So somebody just mentioned chaos theory. That's a separate thing. I'm actually reading about chaos theory too. There's a book called The Essence of Chaos, and it is fascinating. I do not dye my eyebrows daily. I dye my eyebrows about every 2 or 3 weeks. Somebody just asked, so I thought I would tell them. This book's called The Essence of Chaos, and it's fascinating as well. Chaos theory is actually really, really cool. So when you see a rock bouncing down a hill, boing, 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 and the rock is all weirdly shaped, that thing could bounce anywhere, right? It could bounce anywhere. But if you slowed it down enough and paused it into moments in space, you could actually predict exactly where it was going to go, because you have all the information. The rock is shaped this way, the momentum is going like this. If you could analyze those moments specifically, you could make all kinds of anticipations about where that rock is going. But I'm sorry, I'm digressing. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. I haven't had coffee yet. But 2 books anyways while we're at it. Simplexity and The Essence of Chaos. The Essence of Chaos is very interesting. It'll change the way you look at things like this. Thank you, sir. Volume punching is an ineffective tactic. Volume punching is an ineffective term. We have to get rid of that term. It's a lot of things that we have used because TV used them, so we use them. We don't do that. And a bunch of people just been asking me, hey man, you want to take Brian Stan's job? It doesn't work that way. It's not a job. I mean, we're going to miss Brian. We love Brian. I texted him after, and I'm excited for him. Like, what a ballsy guy to make big changes in his life. But I'm sure it's motivated at least in part by not wanting to travel all the time. But yeah, it's not like a job, like somebody will take that exact job, but probably things will become available. I'm in Los Angeles, somebody asked. And of course, I want to do that job. Everyone knows that I want to, not everybody, most people don't know who the hell I am or what the hell I'm doing or why I dye my eyebrows. But Of course, I want to commentate the UFC, but there are weird limitations. That language that's being used right now is ineffective. It's not any one person's fault. It's the machine. It's the system's fault. So who knows how that's gonna go? I don't know if I will ultimately ever get a spot in there, and if I do, if I'll be able to do things that would be a benefit to me anyway, or benefit the things that I do, because if you're just going to throw me in there and tell me to say volume punching, I'm not going to be very good at it. But anyways, how do I see Conor approaching this fight? I got 8 hours of that, and I would recommend you go back there. But hey, would you? Why is anyone even watching this? Some people are watching it because they're insane and they watch things they don't like and then say, I hate you. But most people are watching it because I'm different. So that job, as interesting as it is to me, and as much as I would love to sit beside the cage and share my ideas, I'm not sure if different is what that job is wanting today. It might want it in 6 months or a year. It might take changes to make that happen. But I'm different. I don't say volume punching, and I don't say striker versus grappler, and I don't say it the way that they all say it. So I don't know if I'm the right guy. I'm the right guy if what they're looking for is a slight change, or they think it's a bit stagnant, or they think adding a different vibe is interesting. That's great. If they don't, it's not something I can control. And I got myself all worked up, and I was acting like a little bitch about it, to be honest. And when I didn't get that contender series, and so I said to myself, I'm going to do the things that I do, and I'm going to do them the best that I can. I'm not going to control what other people think, and I'm not going to control what other people do. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do it the best that we can. I'm going to be super positive about it and share our love of fighting. So McGregor Mayweather, Saturday night. I mean, we're getting to a point now where it's actually getting very strange, because there is a collection of people, of which 70% of you or 80% of you are part of that collection, that are very fucking informed and have all kinds of different ideas and have all kinds of different information. And then every couple of days somebody will pop up, hey man, how come you think you'll win? It's like, well, you don't have, some of you have 8 hours of insight into that. And some other people are like, yeah, but bro, that guy's like an amateur, that guy's the best in the world. It's like, what am I supposed to tell them? Go back and watch 8 hours? We just, I think some of us, we can have this conversation, and most people can have their conversation. And I guess that's all we can really do. So I guess where I want to leave this, I probably already talked longer than I was intending to. I guess where I want to leave this is, let's not fight with all these people. You have some information, you have some concepts, you have some outside-the-box thinking, and I hate the term outside the box. That's another ineffective term. We shouldn't celebrate outside the box. If you're stuck in a box, that's something we should hate. That's something we should fight against. That's something we should, stop. We shouldn't celebrate outside-the-box thinking. That's just called fucking thinking. But, so let's not fight with everybody. Most of them do not have the information that you have. Most of them literally are going to wake up on Thursday and go, oh, that fight is happening this week? Well, that guy's not even a boxer, and that guy's the best in the world. And they don't have the information that you have. So don't battle with them nonstop on Twitter. You'll do it a little bit, and so will I. But for the most part, feel lucky that, you've looked at things a different way. You're going to have a really interesting perspective with which to watch this and share with your friends, because you think differently. You're not hanging out with this guy at 6 o'clock in the morning, at sunup, talking about fucking disruptor theory and chaos theory and simplexity and complex systems and how television evolves and how it relates to whatever. You're not doing that because you want to have a boring conversation with these people. You might be doing it because you're just one of those people who watches everything and yells at your computer screen. If you are, have at it. But the rest of you are looking for something, and you find this, look at that beautiful sunrise, eh? You find fighting to be more than what other people see it as. That's a beautiful fucking thing. Fighting is more than other people see it as. It's this incredible lesson, It's this incredible lesson you can carry over to fight, to your life. You look at, I'm looking back at a job I had, at my next job, at a relationship I had, at what might be happening this week, at how to check into this fucking hotel, and we can inform all of that by choices that Conor McGregor makes in a fight, or anybody else for that matter, or how Cub Swanson improves something. That's what martial arts is. Martial arts isn't a bunch of buzzwords while guys kick each other in the head. Martial arts is the examination of how to learn and grow. And all week long, let's look at it from that point. That's right, Aaron. I'm sorry, Ashram, Arsham, my vision's terrible. This is some Bruce Lee shit. So let's look at it that way all week long. Let's try not to fight with everybody. Because a lot of people they have the information they have. They're busy running about their lives. They're doing the things that they do. And all of a sudden, there's this weird fight that doesn't make any sense. That guy doesn't even box. That guy's the greatest boxer in the world. They're limited by their thinking. In a perfect world, whether Conor wins or loses, enough people will be asking, he shocks people till enough that people are saying, wait a second, is it possible that I'm seeing the world in a limited way? That would be the greatest thing ever. Also, if he wins, it'll be Black Panty Night in my house. Black Panty Night. All right, guys. Thanks for humoring my rant. I don't know if this gave you much information. Certainly didn't about the fights. But we'll do this every morning, and thanks for hanging with me. Really means a lot to me. Black out.